Welcome to podcast number 275. Are you on the same page about lean beliefs? If not, we'll get you there today. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to talk about lean beliefs. And so this is a list of things that I wrote down. And actually, this came out of me working with some clients here recently. And it's things that we have to understand as we head into this series, talking about the integrated production control system. And the integrated production control system it's integrated because you decide with the team where to head, just like, IPD environments, integrated project delivery, just like with good teaming principles, like Patrick Lencioni talks about, just like good lean teaming principles, it has to be integrated with the team. Production is our goal because we can't just run a project without the focus of executing on a daily basis. And then control, that might seem like an lean word, control, but we have to have control of our projects. We have to absolutely have control of the cleanliness, safety, organization, stability, and all other aspects of our projects to have a really smooth, wonderful operation that cares for people and that cares for our teams. And so the integrated production control system is something that I'm going to talk about over the next maybe 14, 15 days. This is interesting content you're going to see, or not see, you're going to hear. That shows you that I'm a visual person. You're going to hear that a lot of really good concepts, a lot of which you've probably never heard before. So I'm going to do this series backwards and go from the end all the way to the front, and we're going to start today. But before we get going, we really need to cover things that we have to be on the same page about. And so this podcast is going to be a really good overview of lean concepts as they apply to construction. You're going to really enjoy this. So I did want to say two quick things that I found really insightful. Number one, the fact that we don't have enough workers and people to basically do the work out there in construction is a gift. And you might hear me say that and think, Jason, that's crazy. But it's a gift. We're so wasteful in this country. We are so unappreciative of the resources that we have. We have so many economies of scale. And now that we have inflation, now that we have a lack of certain types of materials, because Google and Amazon purchased all of our corrugated metal decking and bar joists and things like that, now that we don't have workers that we can just throw at problems, now we have resource problems. And so we are going to have to respect people and resources. Just like in Japan, where they are on an island and they pay their people 54 times what they do in China, and they have sometimes resource problems. They have to, and they have had to, with their rice culture and being on an island, they've had to respect people and resources. Now in the United States, we have to respect people and resources to get better. Now we have a constraint. Now we have something that's going to force us to start our lean journey. And people that do not start their lean journey will fail. I mean, it just with inflation and with the fact that we don't have as many trained workers as we used to, and the fact that we don't have all the resources that we used to, companies will have to do more with less in a better, more quality way, or they won't make it. And so this is a gift. And I just want to say, we really need to focus and drill into the process. We need to stop blaming people as if not having enough workers was the only problem that we have here. We need to look at our processes. We need to look at how we think, and we need to look at what we're doing and really head in a better direction. Just one quick thought. What got me thinking about that was somebody the other day, and I'm not going to go on a CPM rant, But somebody the other day was like, Jason, CPM, it's really the people that are using it are doing it wrong. And I'm like, finally it hit me. That person is blaming people, not the process. And we're excusing the process, CPM, and blaming people. And we have to stop doing that, whether it's with CPM or with whether it's a project or whether it's with workers. We are in the construction industry just blaming people. It is our process that is failing us. And so these new circumstances are a gift. So we're going to head into this podcast today with some good energy. We're going to get this done. I think you're going to love this. So what am I excited about? I want to be a little bit vulnerable with you. So on Monday, we have our first public superintendent boot camp. I've talked about that a couple times before, but this is like my, Marshall Mathers, I think that's his name, Slim Shady kind of moment where it's like, this is the first Elevate Construction public training, and it's going to go off at an 11 out of a 10, but it's still, every time I do these, it's nerve-wracking because I work and stress and overly worry about and prepare for a remarkable experience. And I just was thinking about that yesterday, that like this is a key moment. Like I want this training to be so good that it spreads by word of mouth, and then we have one in 2 months, and then a month after that, and then it's like we do field engineer and superintendent and foreman boot camp so often that that's the primary thing that Elevate Construction does, and we do it in a sustainable way. With additional trainers and additional resources, and the website builds, and the YouTube channels build, and the podcast build. So this is our moment. And that's what I'm excited about. So we're up for the challenge, and we're going to make this happen. Let me talk about some fans and feedback. Jason, thank you for joining us for the Thursday coffee group. Goldratt always said it is foolish to schedule everyone in the plant, only need to track and schedule at the bottleneck. In his book, Critical Chain Project Management, that is where the bottleneck becomes the critical chain. For years, I've been trying to see how LPS is applying this. You've nailed it. I've been consuming your Takt book and your videos on YouTube. I think you're on the right track. You're giving me confidence to jump into Takt planning and serve my clients better. Thank you for your great material. You are demystifying Takt and connecting it to real life. Thank you for your enthusiasm, energy, and work. And I just really appreciated that feedback. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to and I if this sounds like I'm reading a lot, I apologize. There's a lot of content here, and I will summarize it as best as we can, but I want this to be oh my gosh, that was a really great lean belief summary. So let's go ahead and get into it. Flow. Flow is the single most important condition we strive for in construction. It is the path to increasing profits, employee satisfaction, customer delight, and to reduce durations. We need to work on increasing and seeing flow every day. Resource efficiency versus flow efficiency. We've covered this, so I'll be brief. Resource efficiency is where we maximize the use of individual resources and attach work to resources, meaning people, equipment, crews, and tools. Flow efficiency is where we focus on the flow of the product to the customer or the customer to their end goal, and we attach resources, meaning people, equipment, crews, and tools, to flow units or the work itself. We always attempt to achieve both, but we always prioritize flow efficiency. Bottlenecks. A bottleneck is any resource whose capacity is equal to or less than the demand placed on it by the entire system, meaning a slowdown in the flow of work. So we look to increase the capacity of bottlenecks to improve flow. Once this is done, more bottlenecks will always show up, and then those are our new focuses. Now, when we talk or when we listen to Nicholas Modig and obviously do other lean learning, we learn about the Judoka principle, which relies on 4 steps. Number 1, discover the abnormality. Number 2, stop the process. Number 3, fix the immediate problem. And number 4, investigate and solve the root cause. In lean and in construction, we create environments where people and teams can see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group, stop, fix the problem, and prevent it in the future. We must see what winning looks like at the place of work every day. 3S stands for sort, meaning remove what is not needed, straighten, organize what remains, and sweep or shine, meaning clean your area in detail. 3S is a standard practice that all teams should use to create cleanliness, organization, and enjoyment. And it results, and sit down for this one, it results in the ability to find and see problems so they can be fixed. The 8 wastes, they are overproduction, excess inventory, transportation, motion, defects, overprocessing, waiting, and not using the wisdom or the experience of the team. Overproduction and inventory are the mother and father of all of the other wastes. When we overproduce something, we have excess inventory that needs to be transported. That creates extra motion. The distraction and the process of moving inventory creates defects or allows us to push them down the line. Defects then need to be fixed, which is overprocessing, and that creates waiting. And all of it was a waste because we know better, and you have this podcast. That's a joke, but we know better, and we need to work together as teams. So let's now talk about, so Muda is the Japanese word for waste, and it's basically any non-value add activity or anything that is rework or anything that is not necessary to add value to the customer. Overburden means excess overburden. This happens when workers are made to work too fast, or there's too much materials, or the system is overburdened and overutilized. We can't have that as well. That the Japanese word there is Muri. Mura means unevenness or non-uniformity or irregularity. This in construction can be a variation in the work, the resources. It causes waste because it causes variation. If there's unevenness in the delivery of materials, for example, that may cause excess inventory or waiting, and those are all wastes. So we remove all 3 of these conditions at all times: waste, overburden, and unevenness. The place of work. We do not focus on numbers and reports from a distance. We observe numbers and reports and observe at the place of work, close to the work, and we want people seeing problems as close to the work, where they work, at every single situation. They need to be able to see what winning looks like. Continuous improvement. To create a continuous improvement culture, we begin by 3S'ing, learning the 8 wastes by memory, learning to really see waste, unevenness, and overburden, and then we form an emotional discomfort, dislike, or even a hatred or annoyance that will allow us to leverage that and take daily incremental steps to fix what bugs us. To scale that culture, we take before and after videos of those improvements and scale them up throughout the organization. Waste and variation. These interrupt flow and are therefore the biggest adversaries to flow. If flow is an angel, then waste and variation are the devils. We strive to reduce these or eliminate them at most or all costs. Roadblocks. Most waste and variation come from roadblocks that are not noticed and removed ahead of the work. So teams, crews, leaders, and workers need to find a way as their first priority, as their first offensive move, to remove roadblocks on a daily basis in a fanatical way. Inevitable and uninevitable variation. Some variation is inevitable, like when an owner issues a change order or they, changes their mind. Some things are not inevitable. We strive with Takt planning and flow and stable environments to eliminate all non-inevitable variation so that we can adapt and be nimble and focused and agile for the areas where we have to be nimble and deal with inevitable variation. Material capacity and time buffers. So we never, and that's why I don't like the concept of a critical path, we never plan for 100% efficiency, either with materials, capacity, or time. We must have buffers. In fact, I would say that Takt planning is not Takt planning unless it has buffers. And I'm just going to stick with that 100% because we don't ever plan for 100% efficiency. In fact, I'm saying officially today that if you do not have, number 1, a visual schedule, number 2, with crew and work flow, 3, with buffers, and 4, a schedule that stabilizes the pace of the work focuses on one-piece flow and limits work in process, then you do not have a Takt plan. That's just the way it is. You can't call somebody something a Takt plan that doesn't have flow, that isn't visual, it doesn't have buffers, and that doesn't utilize lean principles. And so we need to make sure we understand that. Inventory buffers, it's the amount of inventory allowed on site within a specified duration of time to feed the work so that we're not waiting on materials, but it's not excessive, not too much that it creates other wastes. Capacity buffers, everything has a capacity, whether it's equipment, workers, crews, machines, teams, factories, anything. We do not plan on 100% capacity utilization because we understand that things break down and there has to be buffers. Time buffers. Just as we typically, plan 1.5% or 3% financial contingencies on a project, we need to have 1.5% or 3% or 5% time contingencies or buffers on our project because things like supply chain interruptions, weather, adverse conditions, and other things happen. And when we don't have buffers, it pushes the team to start working in a frenzied manner, which creates waste. And pushing creates increases in manpower and material inventory, and all of that decreases profits and increases costs. Just in time. Just in time is a way to describe the planning, delivery, and arrival of materials, information, equipment, and workers just ahead of the right buffer. For instance, when materials are brought just in time ahead of material inventory buffers, this reduces the amount of materials on site and increases production. Right sizing and leveling of material inventory and workers on the project. When the amount of workers on a crew or project and the amount of materials on site increase beyond required numbers to achieve production in a flow, costs rise, productivity reduces, and work slows. Therefore, we have to right size these and level these. One-piece flow. One-piece flow describes a condition where work is finished one piece or phase at a time from beginning to end instead of in batches. Flow units or work moves from phase to phase or step to step in a flow on the shortest path possible on its way to the customers. Changeovers. Just as tools, machines, and equipment changeovers may be necessary in manufacturing to produce only what the customer needs when they need it, crews should be more willing to change tools, supplies, and methods to finish work in a one-piece flow as they go. Speed. Crews should work at the same speed and rate of production to achieve optimal throughput and not work too fast. Limiting work in process. The more work that is in process, the more capacity is utilized from teams or used from teams, workers, systems, equipment, and resources. So we always strive to limit work in process and finish in a one-piece flow as we go. Holding start dates. This is an important belief. Holding start dates, especially when multiple trades are working in sequences, is the best way to ensure more success with just-in-time deliveries, encouraging one-piece flow and reducing work in process. Quality at the source. We notice quality defects, stop the work, correct the problem, and retrain crews before we proceed. That's just how we do it. 100%, we do not push bad work down the line. We fix things as we go. Pull. Pull in construction communicates the process of pulling work and workers behind the preceding process once complete and done in a quality manner. When pull does not happen, work crews, contractors, and teams are pushed on top of each other, which slows production and causes safety and quality defects in addition to waiting. Visual management and measurement. The measurement of winning with performance should be measured real time at all levels of the organization and be measured in an active data environment, meaning where it is visual. Everyone should be able to see, know, and act as a group and see, know, and act with flow. PDCA and lean rollouts. When moving forward with efforts and work, we plan it first, build it right, and finish as we go. We produce a minimum viable product and allow the customer to review it before completely finished. We plan our efforts, do them, check them to see if the desired outcomes are achieved, and then adjust to meet customer needs and wants. We PDCA, we plan, do, check, act, everything we do. Customers. The owner who is paying us for the project is our customer. The neighbors are our customers. The facility management team is our customer. Our designers, engineers, trade partners, vendors, all of those folks are our customers. When we treat people and organizations this way, we truly implement respect for people, and we have the right mindset to create a lean environment and a lean project. Respect for people. Everything we do must align with the highest standards of respect for people. Respect for resources. Everything we do must respect the resources we use to build and maintain our projects and our companies. We cannot be wasteful simply because we live in an economy of abundance. The definition of lean in construction is, number 1, respect for people and resources. Number 2, stable environments with flow in a culture that sees and fixes problems. Number 3, total participation with visual systems. Number 4, continuous improvement and fanatical quality. All right, let's talk about standardization. That is good. Continuous improvement will flourish in stable environments with standardization. Everyone is expected to rise to minimum standards and improve from there. We standardize to improve. Improvement cannot succeed without standardization. Accountability. Lean cultures and systems are not successful without accountability, and sometimes radical accountability. Project teams and team members must hold each other accountable to standards, or lean will not work. There can be no tolerance of dissension from the culture or systems that respect people and resources. Striving for perfection. Perfect is easy. Good is hard. Mediocre is hard and destructive, and bad goes out of business. Although not attainable always in human systems, we strive for perfection and never settle. And it is the easiest way to run a project because you can achieve self-sustaining systems. Good, you're still fighting to get it there. Mediocre is very difficult, and bad, you're not going to survive in the industry. So just always remember, we're striving for perfection, and it's the easiest way to run a project. Enjoyment. People do their best work when they have connection, relevance, and measurement at work. Companies and teams only really succeed when individuals and teams enjoy their work and have a fun and engaging work environment. Integration and proximity. We strive for person-to-person proximity in teams and the integration of people, systems, technology, spaces, and information when structuring teams. Transparency. Everything thrives in transparency. We do not keep secrets outside of what is confidential from an HR or legal perspective. Agility and adaptability are good characteristics. We are agile, nimble, and adaptable to provide customer needs and wants. The way we do this is by creating stability everywhere else on the project, so we are only adapting where and when we need to add value to reduce variation. We do not encourage unnecessary variability or change. Cleanliness. Everything we do will be done in a fanatically clean way. Organization. Everything we do will be done in a fanatically organized way. Safe. Safety. We are safe, period. This is the top priority, value, and focus in all we do. We optimize the workers. This is a great concept. Workers make the money in construction. They are the heroes. We optimize and stabilize their environment first. Information, materials, layout, quality expectations, equipment, permissions, and safety planning should be prioritized in a steady flow to create a safe, clean, organized, and productive environment for the worker. That is how we bring value to our original customer. And right now, people are too focused on optimizing themselves and their own departments and the office, right? And we need to optimize the worker. Production and interruptions. We do not lose money while crews are working. We lose money when the flow of work or crews are interrupted. Our focus should be on clearing the path for work to progress. We don't even need to track production while crews are in flow. We track interruptions of flow and continuously improve to improve the overall production of the system. Winning daily. Foremen track metrics daily or need to determine if they are winning. Everyday deviations should be identified, tracked, and improvements should be made to plan the next day. This should then be shared on a video on a communication system throughout the company. Lencioni principles. Leaders. If you're a leader, you build the team first. You have those hard conversations. You manage, mentor, coach your direct reports. You hold remarkable meetings, and scale communication is your first priority. If you don't, you're not a leader. Team behaviors. Teams excel when they know each other, build trust, engage in healthy conflict, set goals and standards together, Hold each other accountable and perform. If not, you are not a team. Team support. Successful teams have multiplier leaders, healthy team behaviors, and a strenuous performance goal. That is the only way to make it work. Meetings. Remarkable meetings are crucial. Meetings must include conflict and focus. They should lead the team and organization to higher levels of achievement. Meetings are not bad. Poorly run meetings are bad and should be fixed. And if somebody doesn't like meetings, that's a sign that they don't know what they're doing and they don't know how to run meetings. Scaling clarity. An organization or project can only be successful if the leadership team is high functioning, there is clarity around where the organization, project, or team is going, and that clarity is repeatedly communicated and reinforced through human systems. Team player behaviors. Team players perform well when they are humble, hungry, and smart. Engagement. People will engage if they can connect to their manager, understand their relevance to the organization, and can measure success daily and feel they are winning. Urgency. Silos, politics, and turf wars occur when an organization is not galvanized around a strenuous performance goal or emergency. The last planner system. The last planner system is a system that uses master scheduling, phase pulls, make ready look aheads, usually 6 weeks, weekly work plans, and daily huddles, and the tracking of percent plan complete. And it's used for short interval production planning, execution, and tracking in a visual culture that involves the trade format in the planning, collaboration, commitment, execution, and tracking cycles. The culture is created in this system that is created there is crucial to production control and gaining on time. Prefabrication. We prefabricate everything we can. And then I'm going to close out with this because the 14 principles of the Toyota Way that Jeffrey K. Liker mentions and that we find in numerous books do apply to construction. So I'm going to list them right now, 1 to 14. Principle 1, base your management decisions on a long-term philosophy, even at the expense of short-term financial goals. Principle 2, create a continuous process flow to bring problems to the surface. Principle 3, use pull systems to avoid overproduction. Principle 4, level out the workload. Work like the tortoise, not the hare. Principle 5, build a culture of stopping to fix problems to get quality right the first time. Principle 6, standardized tasks and processes are the foundation for continuous improvement and employee empowerment. Principle 7, use visual controls so no problems are hidden. Principle 8, use only reliable, thoroughly tested technology that serves your people and process. Principle 9, grow leaders who thoroughly understand the work, live the philosophy, and teach it to others. Principle 10, develop exceptional people and teams who follow your company's philosophy. Principle 11, respect your extended network of partners and suppliers by challenging them and helping them improve. Principle 12, go and see for yourself to thoroughly understand the situation. Principle 13, make decisions slowly by consensus, thoroughly considering all options, implement decisions rapidly. Principle 14, become a learning organization through relentless reflection and continuous improvement. So let me go ahead and close this out by saying these were, and I went through and referenced almost all of my material, my books, my podcasts, research, videos, YouTube, and asked myself, what are the lean concepts that everyone has to know to make the integrated production control system work? And let's summarize those quickly. And I think this podcast isn't going to be too long. Right now, I bet you this is like a 30-minute podcast. Probably around 30 minutes. In that amount of time, we've been able to talk about these concepts. And if you're thinking, that's a lot of content, maybe listen to it over and over. If you want a guide, I can help you with definitions. But your team, your project, your organization has to understand these as they move forward. Because as you can probably tell, when I read these to you and talked to you about them naturally, that I'd say about half the construction industry has wrong and are using wrong, and that's where most of our waste is coming from. That's where most of our lost productivity and financial losses are coming from. So we have to believe the right things to act the right way. And usually if somebody isn't acting the right way, it's because they believe something that is causing them to do so. And so we have to get on the same page. I hope this has been helpful. We are immediately going to cover the integrated production control system backwards, and I'm going to tell you all of the key steps that have to be in place in order for us to really deliver a remarkable project and to win and to enjoy our work, to respect workers, to be a highly trained and effective project management team, and to have balanced and happy families at home so that we can live the remarkable life that we deserve. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.